Live?
I think we're live. There we go.
I got time to speak.
Sure.
We're live.
Oh, here comes a crowd.
Oh, people are showing up now.
Perfect. Wow, they heard Kelly was here.
Yeah, right. Well, Kelly's here. We're live, and
Hey, that's Geezy.
I think we're live on TikTok now,
Ryan
too.
Michael Geezy.
Sleazy. All right, welcome to another episode of Beer Buzz and the Big Sky Podcast. Today we have Kelly McDowell all the way from San Francisco.
Welcome, Kelly.
Yep, Kelly all the way from San Francisco.
We're
We're
proud.
going to talk about how infested that city is with feces and crime.
So did you fly up here, Kelly, or did you drive?
We drove this time.
Okay,
You
so you
drove.
must have had people hanging on the side of your car, like
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a zombie movie.
Trying to
we
get out of
left
there.
When we left Afghanistan, the last plane out, you had all
Yeah, those people on
hanging
it.
on the
Yeah.
wings. They're get me out of here.
We have to reinforce the car. Luckily, it's a hybrid though, so we don't have
Okay.
to stop for gas
Oh,
as often.
Yeah.
A hybrid. Could you be a little more California? Wow.
Hey, I drive a hybrid.
Wow. I guess my lady's got an electric car.
I get like 52 miles to the gallon.
I have an electric bike.
52.
Yeah.
That's the future.
Yeah, I think we get 48.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's like the cars in the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you drive straight through then? Or did you stop?
No, we camped our way up the coast. So
Okay.
camping spot near Arcata, and then one in the middle of nowhere, Oregon, and then north of Aberdeen. Washington.
Okay. Cool.
Have you ever been to, now I can't remember what it's called. It's really remote, north of San Francisco. God, I don't remember what it's called. It's beautiful.
Is it a town?
Yep.
2 words.
It's
First
got-
word.
It's got an airstrip in town. Everything gets flown in. It's very remote. You got to go over 2 huge mountain passes out of Redway to get there.
Okay.
Straight west of Redway.
Never been there.
And that town smells like weed, the whole town. No, Redway. Yeah, I think it's in Humboldt
Yeah,
County.
somewhere Humboldt, Trinity. Up
God,
there.
it's called. God, I don't remember. I don't. Anyway,
But you took Highway 1 then, or?
Yeah. So actually, it was part of our trip was me personally doing the entire Route 101 trip.
Oh, sweet.
So I finished it on
Okay.
this trip.
That's what my wife and I did on our honeymoon. We drove from Missoula to San Diego, and then we took 101 and all the way up the coast. It's
I bet you
beautiful.
stopped in Vegas, didn't you?
We did stop in
Yeah,
Vegas.
you
yes, we
have
did.
to. I mean, when I go to Seattle, I stop in Vegas.
Right, yeah, me too.
It's not that.
The 101 starts like in the middle of all the madness in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then ends in Tumwater, Washington.
Yeah.
Which is
Cool
right
town.
right next to Olympia.
Okay.
Did you stop at the dairy in Tillamook?
We sure did.
Oh, dude.
That place is great.
It's the Disneyland for cheese fans.
Yeah, it's great.
I spent well over $300 there. My girlfriend's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "Look at this cheese is like 10 years old."
They make a mean curd.
Dude, they
Big,
know what they're doing.
yeah.
From a Wisconsin
They're
guy,
good.
they do pretty good.
Big cheese runs that. town.
Yeah, they're good.
You know, I went real quick. I went and saw my doctor, and she's a pretty beautiful woman. She really is. And
Cut back on the cheese.
well, yeah. She said now she did say that to expect things to be different next time I saw her. I said, "Oh, what's going on?" She goes, "Oh, I'm going to transition, so next time I'll be a man." I said, "Oh, why would that bother me? I'm going to get a better doctor, and you're getting a pay raise."
Oh,
What? That's for the ladies out
You
there.
had me going for a minute there.
I know. I don't really get people going on that
But
one.
truly, though,
Oh, she turned into a cow.
Big Sur is one of the most beautiful places
It is.
I've ever been in my
And
entire
they have a motel that's like $1,000 a night there.
I don't doubt it.
It's kind of like Whitefish.
Yeah,
It's kinda.
unbelievable.
It's close.
Yeah, Big Sur is incredible.
So, we give RFK a lot of shit and stuff, and I think he does. He's in person, but
Worm.
he's trying to. He thinks that we should outlaw pharmaceutical advertising, and
Okay.
I completely agree with that.
Okay.
There's only 2 countries in the world that allow it: New Zealand and us.
And us.
And I thought New Zealand was kind of liberal. Like they got a woman running that place, right?
A lot of sheep.
A lot of sheep. Yeah. These single dudes.
Yeah, and the whole the food dye and candy and all that shit.
yeah,
sure.
I'm all for it.
That shouldn't be there to begin with.
Yeah.
But M&M's holding out.
Yeah, they're gonna hold. I think on the
But
Skittles.
we don't need to put it all on him for being the savior of
Right.
there being dying.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, out of his whole administration and everybody he put in there, because like this one guy explained it today on TikTok, and he did a really good job saying that, these are very dangerous people. It's not like the last time. there's a reason now people aren't getting fired and quitting and whatever, like the chaos last
his
time.
Current cabinet.
His current cabinet
Gotcha.
is, the world is freaking out without
Yeah.
us absolutely knowing about it.
Yeah.
Are we bombing Iran? Are we not? Are we doing this? Are we not? Are we going to tariff? Or are we going to not? All this back and forth. And it's got people really freaked out because we're the country that pretty much leads everybody,
Like it or not.
like it or not, and it's weird. Well, and I'll tell you what, I think most Americans like it. They love being the boss. I think, I don't know, we didn't talk about this last time, but Americans, when every election, they like winners. They want to be a winner. They want to be on the winning team.
Yeah.
And that's America. And when their side loses, they're still very optimistic that it can't be that bad. This time, it's a little different.
Pretty bad.
You're seeing a lot different, actually, this time. Now the people that are on the losing side, now they're getting really worried. And there are people on the winning side getting a little worried,
I think
but
that's the thing. There's more people on the winning side that are now like, oh shit.
yeah, when a third of the country didn't vote either.
Oh,
So, and when they talk about mandates,
90 million people.
90 million
It's
people,
the biggest voting bloc out there. The
Yeah.
non-voters.
the non-voters, they
Big
are.
one.
It's the biggest voting bloc out there. And those people tend to be more liberal. They just do. For whatever reason.
The Trump voters are getting nervous?
Some of them.
Yeah.
Well, because I think some of this is too much. But Americans, again, another thing, we have.
Too much. I mean, you take that Colorado M&Ms, that's going to piss off.
Oh, it's going to
people.
piss a lot of people off.
That red just doesn't pop the
It
way
doesn't
it used
pop,
to.
I know Red 41 has waited a
Right.
long time, when Red 40 isn't done.
My body, my choice. Okay?
There we go. Now, why can't it be that way? Yes, I want all the poison that I can handle in my body.
Right.
But Americans also have a short memory. I think a lot of these legislators are counting on us in a year from now, not remembering that they voted for this bill, not remembering that they added $5 trillion to the debt. This is one thing that really pisses me off, and this is where I think MAGA are. I almost said almost said the R word.
We're
I think
they're going to yank us
You're
off
not an auto-
Extremely mentally challenged. I'm going to put it this way. I can say that. God, it made me. I lost my train of thought on that one now.
I think TikTok just knocked you
Yeah,
off.
you were talking about the deficit.
Oh God, they might have.
I was
yeah.
telling someone the other day, I don't know if it was you or if it was Kevin, where in my lifetime there has not been a single fiscally conservative Republican president.
No, okay. So you had
No,
20.
deficits only matter when there's a Democrat in the White House.
Okay.
You're right. They win
Yeah.
that
That's
argument.
the only time they matter.
Reagan promised huge tax cuts. He delivered, said they would pay for themselves. They didn't, blew up the deficit. George H.W. Bush promised tax cuts, delivered, said they would pay for themselves. They didn't, blew up the
Recession.
deficit. Trump 1 did the same thing, and now we just did it again with Trump 2. That's the not counting George H.W. We don't count single-termers on this show.
Well, I'm going to count them right now because if you take both Bushes and Reagan, that is 20 years.
But I don't think George H.W. passed a big tax.
No,
bill.
he didn't. But he also supported this trickle-down economic.
I thought he said, read my lips.
He
He did say that.
No
yeah.
new
Yeah, he
taxes.
was the-
My
no-
legs.
no
He hated
new-
No
broccoli.
new taxes.
Yeah, he hated broccoli.
Anyway,
He's dead now.
between both Bushes and Reagan, you had, and this is the fucking truth, and I'm sick of MAGA not fucking believing the truth. I'm fucking over it. I can't stomach it. When I talk to these people face to face, they just do not give a fuck about facts, and I think it's time that they absolutely have to give a fuck about it. We had Bill Clinton for 8 years. We had 2 Bushes and a Reagan for 20 years. In that 20 years, they created about 20 million jobs. Clinton created 24 million in 8 fucking years.
Yeah.
So when the working people of this country get on this fucking Trump wagon, all I can say is they are extremely mentally challenged and too goddamn proud and stupid to fucking vote in their own interest anymore. Because it is insane. Because the statistics are out there. Trickle down has not done a goddamn thing
Doesn't
for
work.
this country.
It
It's
really
been
doesn't
40 years of this. The only time we didn't really have it, the only time the income gap didn't fucking expand was for about 4 years when during Clinton's
But
presidency.
you're not going to change the mind of one MAGA voter. And that's not what the target audience is. The target audience is the leaning Republicans,
The
the
moderate.
middle road,
Yeah.
the people who did not vote. You need to change about 3.5% of the voting
Yeah.
population's mind. And
It's not a big
it's
percentage.
Not a big thing.
It's really not that many people. I mean, but okay, Kelly, you're in San Francisco. Obviously, probably 80% of that city's pretty liberal, pretty conservative.
80.
And you get a lot of hate for Seattle, for Portland, and San Francisco. And San Francisco lately, I don't know if are there Marines walking around San Francisco like they're L.A. or no?
No.
They're just making an example out of L.A.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is another stupid fucking MAGA thing
Yeah,
that
what
these people are
happened
proud of
yesterday or
it.
The day before down in MacArthur Park.
Yeah.
It was just a big, just like dick swinging contest thing. To
They
see.
were on horseback.
Yeah, like look what we're pulling off right here. What are you gonna do about it?
I mean, there's shit going on in Texas. They still can't find a fucking shit ton of people. And you got the National Guard and the Marines in L.A. because there's so much unrest, which is all bullshit. It's fucking bullshit.
It is.
And I don't know how the mainstream media is allowing people to get away with this, because I'll watch all the outlets and I will see this shit happening where there will be a blurb about, a cop saying, it's really not that bad, we don't need them. But more often than not, they're just showing the pictures of the Marines, and they're, because this is news, and it's clickbait. It's big time clickbait. But nothing's happening. Like, who's the mayor, Karen Bass? She's like, when she's interviewed, and I don't know if she's the best person to put out there to be interviewed at all. But regardless, she's like, they're just blowing this up for this is only clickbait. This isn't necessary, but it's necessary for an authoritarian regime to carry out things like this. I mean, it's kind of textbook,
It's part
the
of
strong
it's
man.
part of the propaganda machine. It's part of
Well, and again, with the propaganda, the MAGA's not going to believe propaganda unless it's in their favor. Like these people know a lot of this shit's not true.
Well, but we know one thing about propaganda, and that it's very effective. I mean, it works.
Oh yeah, it does. It really does.
Worked
Well,
for
if
100 years.
you only watched MSNBC, we've said it before, you're going to think Joe Biden was quick as a whip and didn't have a problem.
Well, like when I told my parents and I told my in-laws that I was going to San Francisco with a friend in December, we went for like 3 or 4 days. They looked at me like I told them I was joining to fight with the rebellion in Syria. They were like, "There's got to be a way out. There's got to be a way you can change your mind."
Why? I mean, it's cheaper to live in San Francisco than it is in Whitefield.
Well, true.
I mean, housing is cheaper there. I
The
looked
food's
it up.
cheaper.
honestly, my rent, we have rent control in our pretty shitty little apartment.
Liberal.
But
I would
it is
never accept
cheaper
that.
than any apartment you can get in Whitefish.
Yes.
That's nuts.
It went up $200. It's fine.
I can get a
Still.
hamburger for $12 in San Francisco. I can't get that at the Bulldog.
You can get a $9 beer in Whitefish, though.
You sure can.
We have friends going to dinner at the Blue Moon tonight. The cheapest burger, $13.
Right.
Damn, at the Blue Moon even.
I can get a $13 burger in San Francisco.
So we got to dispel the myths.
And
the
it'll be organic.
That's what we should call it. We should call it the MAGA myth. All this horse shit that Fox News and Newsmax is spreading, and Alex Jones, dude. Alex Jones was crying because of the Epstein thing. And
He put
okay,
on a hell of a show.
we might as well
took it
rant
rough.
about that horse shit too, MAGA.
Took
Pay
it
attention
rough.
to the fucking Epstein deal. Okay, now you're okay with it? Now Ghislaine's in jail because she did nothing wrong? She's the only person in trouble over this whole fucking thing is a woman.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
But there were
That's DEI.
You're right. It is DEI. It is, and I support that. I do.
Yeah, but apparently Ghislaine is in jail for trafficking underage women to no one.
Yes, there is no
similar
list.
to
There's
somebody.
nothing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys
One
watched.
woman operation.
Yeah.
Did you see the interview? It was Pam Bondi, Marco Rubio, little Marco, and Trump. And she sounds like the biggest fucking dingbat in the world. She's fucking lying. There's no doubt in her mind. And Marco's sitting there like, oh, fuck, we're all going down. He just got this look of stress on him. And
Every time he's on camera, he looks like he's like, I can't believe I got myself into this.
I don't know what I'm doing.
is
Why
like-
am I
it's-
next to this guy?
It's been so fascinating the last 2 days, all this Epstein shit, where anytime they ask a Trump official, whether it's the press secretary or little Marco or whomever, they ask them, like, so the Epstein list, where is it? Pam Bondi said every time they ask them, they have this look on their face, like someone just handed them Polaroids of their kids walking to school. They're like, how did you get what? This is, oh, no.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, where are we now? I mean, it's like, Trump runs on this. I'm going to bring it all out, all
We're through
honesty.
we're through the looking glass. is where we are.
Yeah. And now, it's sad that the people that do care to vote are mostly conservative and MAGA. They vote in big numbers, and they're going to believe this. They're going to believe anything they are told by these people.
It's fine. They can believe it. That's not the target audience.
That's right. You're right. It's not the
target
audience.
is the people who don't bother to vote.
So
You know, those are the folks you have to educate a little.
I mean, I'd say outside of the Catholic Church, this is the biggest child sex abuse cover-up in the history of the United States.
way outside the Catholic Church, but you're right. You
Right.
know, because I'm sure the Catholic Church is
I-
way fucking bigger. They didn't need an island.
I, for one, am shocked that the pedophiles didn't release the list of pedophiles. That's,
Yeah,
I'm
me too.
stunned
I-
Wait,
that
in the
didn't
church?
happen.
Or?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if Trump's if he's being accused of being one of the biggest pedophiles in the history of America,
Which Elon did.
and he's on supposedly on a list, why wouldn't he
Clear his name.
release the list?
Well,
and say,
obviously.
look, I'm not on this.
Here's your difference between
Pope Leo has the list. You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Pope Leo's got it.
Yeah.
This is a difference between the right and the left. Because I hear people on the left saying the reason that fucking Biden didn't do it because Clinton's on the fucking list. And the people on the
Totally.
left are being very fucking honest about it. As far as I can see, they're being very honest.
I mean, is that
On the
news to
right,
anyone?
no, it's not any news at all. But on the right, it's a big cover up. And nope, didn't happen. Didn't happen. I didn't do it. Never touch a little girl. Didn't like it.
He
Okay, I
said-
mean, I didn't do it.
There are Trump quotes saying, "Oh, you know, Jeff, he's a good friend of mine. He likes women almost as much as I do. He just likes them a lot younger."
Yeah, a lot younger. Yeah. What's that supposed to mean? I wonder, like 30? But it is, I think it's a fucked up time right now. I think it's horrible that, you know, this guy's going to promise everything in the world about JFK, Martin Luther King, all this stuff,
I think
you know,
it's
the
sad
Epstein.
that an innocent man killed himself in prison.
That
Jeffrey
is probably the
Epstein.
biggest travesty
For no
about
reason,
this.
evidently.
No reason at all.
Just go to trial, be acquitted.
Like,
There's no
why? Yeah, why
evidence.
wouldn't he just wait to be acquitted? Because I think, well, probably because Biden was president and he thought he was going to go down, and you know, because
Didn't he
those
die under
Democrats are
Trump
so.
won? Or was that,
No, it was
Joe?
20. Oh yeah, it did. 20. It was
Epstein?
2019.
Yeah.
Yeah,
19's when he killed him. It was
won.
under
Yeah,
Trump. That's
Sleepy
right.
Joe didn't even get to it.
I'm surprised Trump didn't
Yeah,
pardon him.
Hunter had nothing to do with it.
Trump's probably going to pardon him now, post haste.
Well,
I mean, he could, I suppose.
I mean, the conspiracy behind it is that Ghislaine, her father Robert Maxwell, her father Robert Maxwell worked for Mossad, which is Israel's CIA.
Oh,
So that
he
I mean,
did.
that's the whole conspiracy behind it, is that her and Epstein were.
Wow.
He was a spook with the CIA. She had connections to Mossad, and through them they developed this big honeypot scheme where they would blackmail powerful
Wow.
world leaders, and they would say, this is the way you're going to vote because we have you in a compromising situation.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
yep.
that's in a nutshell the Epstein conspiracy.
Ooh, Barstool Sports wants to join live as a guest. I don't know how to do. I don't know how to do that
Well,
though.
San
yeah,
Francisco
yeah,
housing
let 'em-
prices, right?
Yeah.
Except
$1.25 million for a median price house in San Francisco. I just looked it up.
Sounds like Whitefish.
That'll get you a nice condo
Million and
here
a
in
quarter.
Whitefish.
Whitefish, $100,000 more, $1.35 million.
Fuck,
I'm telling
man.
you. And then you have to look at the wages. $150,000 in
Right.
San Francisco. for
Oh
housing
yeah,
median,
here what 50?
75 in the Flathead County.
My job, a public defender in San Francisco, I think they start you at $169,000.
Yeah. Montana is the
What?
number one
For a public
unaffordable
defender?
state
Yeah, it's a lot.
in the nation.
We're not.
Number
they're not.
one.
We're
they're
number
not
one.
Spit on there like we are here.
You-
We're
said-
number one.
Yeah, California's number two.
I
on
said
that.
75 for median,
Flathead County wage per household.
and that seems high. Like there's got to be some outlier.
It's jumped in the last 4 or 5 since the pandemic. It's gone up quite a bit. But everybody's payroll has. I mean, anybody that's got employees, like you're paying a lot more than you used to. You know.
Well, you have to.
Yeah, you do. God damn it.
But I really do think that San Francisco is our most beautiful city. Like,
It's
it is-
incredible.
It
really
is gorgeous. Like,
How much poop is in the streets, Kelly?
okay,
Is it all over your house?
we can get to the Tenderloin if you want.
Okay. There are streets that have poop on
Yes.
Okay.
There are.
Okay.
it.
It's the whole, but it's not the whole city. Like,
which streets?
yeah.
I know all the names. Yeah. 6th Street from Market to Harrison,
Smells bad.
pretty shitty.
Yeah, pretty shitty. No pun
there-
intended.
The Tenderloin has always been the shittiest part of town. You go.
It's called the Tenderloin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The TL, the
The TL.
Tenderloin.
Oh, I like that.
There's tons of history there. Like it wasn't
There's tons
always.
of shit history.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, who's doing the shitting? Really?
I mean, honestly, it's a lot of dogs.
Dogs.
It is
okay.
the homeless people all have dogs.
Oh, of course.
It's homeless dogs.
They're eating the
homeless
dogs. They're eating the cats.
yeah.
Are they eating dogs there too? There's a lot of immigrants there.
I haven't found a market that's
No.
been slinging
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Those are
slinging dog ribeyes. So yeah, but you know, any big city, it might not be as shitty, but you're gonna find some downtowns in any given city.
Absolutely.
That are
So
awful.
the 20 most violent cities in America. Do you know that Portland, Seattle, and San Fran are not on that
That's
fucking list?
Not surprised.
But on Fox
I
News,
did
they
know
are number 1, 2, and 3 on
Not
Fox
surprised.
News.
What is it?
Tulsa, Oklahoma
East-
City,
East-
Memphis,
East
St.
Sol-
Louis,
yes, East St. Louis.
Right.
and
worst
Chicago,
city in-
liberal city, super violent. But the thing is,
Mobile,
Mobile's real
Knoxville.
bad. Yep. But that's the thing that it really does. It pisses me off a lot again, and I know, MAGA doesn't matter because they're not that demographic that matters, and they don't matter, and they shouldn't get the time that I like giving them. But I do like ripping on them, and because I
You do a good job at it.
fucking hate them, I mean, just like I'm so sick of the fuck your feelings people, like I'd rather see people survive and have a shot than just say, fuck you, you're not working hard
Where
enough.
are you going to see the fuck your feelings people? Because I don't see them.
You don't see them?
No, I must be hanging out.
You're
different
not going to
parts.
Home Depot or the
Maybe I'm
scoreboard
not
places.
leaving the farm enough.
But you got to
You're
remember,
not.
Ed, with the MAGA people, it's fuck your feelings, but
Not-
my
not theirs.
feelings,
Oh.
however,
Yes,
They
need to be
need to-
coddled,
Once you start hurting
they
my
need to be
feelings,
cradled like a little bird.
without a doubt. Well,
Yes.
as Alex Jones just started crying the other day.
That's like
'cause
Elon when he said one of the biggest problems in this country is too much empathy, and then he said, "How dare people be mean to me? They want me to fail."
oh, God, he's insane. So he wants to do a third party. It's going to fail, right?
Yeah, it'll
Mike, what do you
fail.
think?
what was it called?
I mean, he's got a lot of money.
American Party.
He's got a lot of money. There's a difference.
Yeah, I think he'd actually do better by taking over the libertarians.
So yeah, every other third party out there is now catering to him big time. I think the libertarians. I mean, I've supported libertarians. I'm pretty much a libertarian at heart. I really am.
I mean, Vermin Supreme. I mean,
Vermin
that-
Supreme, dude. That guy runs
if
every
Musk
4
backed
years.
Vermin Supreme, we would have a better
I voted for him.
democracy.
It
Once.
would be the death knell of the Republican Party. If Elon Musk were able to get something like that off the ground, it would be H. Ross Perot in perpetuity.
I think you're right. If it's the Libertarian Party, if it's somebody that's already got somewhat of a base.
Well, because like Jopek's saying, you're not going to siphon off Democrats to go vote with Elon Musk.
No.
It's just going to be
No, they're still mad at Tesla.
Right.
That's not going to happen.
a fun Tesla thing that's happening in San Francisco. There's the big protests that happen every other weekend.
Yeah.
Just fun, and the signs are very clever, and
Yeah.
he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But the stickers that people put on their cars said, I bought this Tesla before
Elon was crazy
an asshole
or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck you.
Right.
You didn't know he was a fucking nutcase before you bought this?
Right.
True.
Give me a fucking break.
You're right, because he's
Right.
been out in the
So-
media, and he is. And, that's another thing that MAGA can suck at, too. Because you
USA.
got fucking Elon Musk on stage with Trump, all whacked out on drugs. And these people are the ones that if you're on drugs, you're going to prison. This is bad. And, these hardcore conservative. But when it comes to something like that, it's all good. I mean, it's fine. This guy can be on drugs because he's Elon Musk, and he's got he's the richest man in the world. Can you give me a Tums, Amy?
We
I had
call
too
that-
much hot sauce. There's Tums on my desk.
We
I
call
need a-
that
I need a
cognitive
Tums.
dissonance.
I saw a Tesla today in town, and I had a "Don't tread on me," and I don't know. I just thought that was funny.
Hell yeah.
I-
Don't tread on me.
I didn't
unless,
really have a whole lot of
Yeah.
comment. I just thought that was.
Don't tread
Kevin,
on me
no
unless
one's-
you're a multinational corporation, the
Kevin,
police.
what was that thing you said?
No one's treading on you, sweetie.
Right, yes.
Everything's fine.
Oh, what did you say? What was it? The bumper sticker?
No one's treading on you, sweetie.
Oh, no one's treading on you, sweetie. I love that,
Right.
I do love that. And, maybe that's maybe what it takes with America and the left to be a little less sensitive and a little more like
Oh, yeah, a little laugh a little bit.
laugh a little bit. Like,
I mean, some of it's funny.
yeah,
It's
oh,
funny.
dude, some of it's super funny. I mean, and Trump's funny a lot of times. He really
hilarious.
is. I mean, okay, I wouldn't go that far, but
I would.
you're right. I mean, because, well,
Remember when
with his
Trump
speech-
one when he says, "We love our friends in Puerto Rico." It's like, why is he talking?
also,
like that?
did you
So
see he
funny.
met with the president of Liberia
Yes, I
today?
did.
And you hear he said, "Well, you speak beautiful English. Where were you educated?" Shut the fuck up, you idiot.
Or when he was throwing the paper towels in Puerto
Oh,
Rico.
Oh,
that
God.
was very
Oh, my
funny.
God.
He
He
needs to-
cares.
Yeah.
He
hasn't
cares
done
a
that for
lot.
Texas.
But, wouldn't you think a president would know, but especially his team would be briefing him before he meets with a president of another country,
He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah,
He
what the
doesn't-
fuck their language
I don't
is,
think
what
he
their
cares
fucking
about any
he
of
doesn't
that.
know, he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't think he cares
And neither does Ted Cruz. I don't know if you guys saw the Tucker
Cruz
Carlson
on
interview with.
vacation, right? Or
Yeah,
did he
of
come
course
back?
he is. There's a disaster in Texas. He has to get the fuck out of there.
Where's Ted?
That
You know,
Tucker
and-
interview is just incredible.
Wow.
I was like,
wow.
why
How many
am
people
I-
live there? I don't know. What's their main religion? I don't know. You want to bomb them and you don't know
Yeah.
anything about these people.
You're a United States senator. You should know these things.
Yeah,
why
You
am
know
I-
when
Yeah,
Tucker is
that's a good Tucker. That's a
when
really good
Tucker's the
Tucker.
voice of reason.
I know.
That's
and you're
fucked
like,
up.
What the fuck?
That's
is
all. I was
going
like,
on?
why am I?
He's not
looking
wearing.
up
He's
to
not wearing the
Tucker
bow tie.
Carlson as
He's
a
not. He's not wearing the
journalist?
bow tie anymore. He's looking a little more. He's looking a little liberal, if you ask me.
Yeah.
He's looking a little more laid back.
Was he?
Son of a bitch.
He was in Greece. Well, why would he be in Greece?
It wasn't flooding.
Probably,
Well,
and
I
it's
mean,
beautiful.
All of Congress is on vacation. They
Yeah.
departed
They
town.
take the summer.
They
off.
passed that bill and
They got
hightailed
the
it
hell out
town.
of it.
That's right. They might as well. And I haven't heard of any town halls. People are back and stuff, and they're not going to do any. They're not.
Doing- I mean, they passed. Look at how they passed that bill. They passed that bill in the Senate with Daines being the deciding vote. They passed that bill in the House by Zinke being the deciding vote. Either one of those
Right.
guys could have made
Up
changes
with
to the-
Montana.
I'm telling you, $5 trillion in new debt.
It's crazy.
That's a lot. That is a lot.
It better be on every goddamn
Kelly.
ad I see for the midterms.
I was trying to figure out how big a number is $5 trillion, right? How big a number is that? And so I looked up the value of all of the houses and all of
I
the
don't know.
small business in the state of Montana.
Every single one of them.
Every single one in the state of Montana. That's $250 billion.
$250 billion.
We're talking about 20 times that to get to $5 trillion.
And it's going to happen. Rural hospitals are going to close. We've already seen a lot of offices close for other government
And the
agencies.
nursing homes?
Nursing homes.
Nursing homes are closing by the 100 across
Yeah.
the nation.
I mean, we all the food, we've lost so much in food, and just for Montana, I want to say $400,000 worth of aid for our food banks had just gone overnight, done.
Here's the local thing with the hospitals. The hospital in Polson might close, and that will be, or there won't be another ER within 60 miles of,
Right.
of
Right.
Polson.
Yeah, Kalispell or Missoula.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Dude,
Oh,
You
and
kidding me?
Oh, it's crazy. I mean, everybody thought that, Congress is going to do something. Everyone's calling Congress, worked up about what's happening with
No.
the executive. Congress said, hey, that was a good idea. Let's actually cut Medicaid by
Yeah.
$1 trillion. Everyone thought it was the courts were going to save us.
Yeah.
The courts would say, oh, no,
Shit.
the lower courts
Yeah.
can't pass injunctions. Lower
Yeah.
courts can't do this. The president can fire everybody.
Yeah.
it's all a bunch of
Well, you
horse
have,
shit. What they spend money on and what they're trying to save money on, it's fucked up. It is mentally fucked up.
Well, you have someone like Lisa Murkowski from Alaska, who was
What a
one of,
disappointment.
if not, I mean, she was a big vote in the Senate, and she votes to pass it, and then the very next thing she says is, this bill is not ready. This bill should not have been passed. It's my hope that the House sends this back to the Senate, and we have more time to tweak
On
it.
what planet is she
Right,
thinking that was
exactly.
going to happen?
So
It's like,
Alaska's not
stupid
going
or
to
liar? Which is it?
Alaska's not going to have the economic impact because there was a lot of things in that bill that really sweetened things up for fishermen and other people in Alaska. They get dividends every year. They get money, I'm not saying these rural hospitals, they don't have that many anyway. What pisses me off about her is she's so fucking worried about losing her job that she knows there's so much MAGA in Alaska, she had to vote for it. Even though she was bad for her state, it's bad for the country. She knew it. She admitted
it's bad
it.
for the entire state.
It's bad. But she's so afraid of losing. I mean, so she must, in her knowledge, her wisdom, and the Republicans' wisdom, saying, we better pass this because either Americans aren't going to remember in a year and a half, which is fucking true, or, you're never going to win again if you vote against anything
That's
Trump
the thing
wants.
I always liked about John Tester is that he would vote with his conscience.
Yep, he
vote
didn't
with
give a
his
shit.
State, and it didn't matter about the political pressure. And he paid a price for some of it, and he knew that some of that was happening. But you're not seeing that with the Murkowskis and that kind of
I
stuff.
mean,
No.
maybe. Like I said, we'll see when the midterms come around. Maybe they pay some sort of political price for this. I'm pretty cynical. I don't think they will.
Well, the Senate side is really hard.
Senate side's brutal. Yeah.
I mean, you can see yourself picking up some House seats.
Yeah. The House almost certainly will flip.
I'll pass it to Mike.
But the Senate is very tough. I think it's Iowa, it's Florida, Montana. I saw on a list of they'd have to win Montana, and I don't know if Ed's announced yet he's running against Daines, but or is that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yep. that fucker in the ground.
Official announcement party.
Yeah, God, you might win, Ed. That would be crazy.
You know, I hear
mean,
Gaines is underwater.
Ed's not
what I hear
originally from
too.
Montana either, so he might
No.
win.
And you never see the guy.
What?
And
What are you talking
Steve
about?
Daines.
Troll.
And you know, he gave
That guy from
He's a little leprechaun.
Maryland?
that's
No, he's born in California.
that's
California,
Rosen.
I
think.
Yeah.
Okay. Ma-
San
uh,
One of
Francisco.
our finest.
Who was Maryland?
He's from the Castro in San Francisco.
Maryland Matt Rosendale.
Maryland Matt.
He called it Montana. I lived in Montana. He can't even say Montana. And he banged a fucking Asian intern and got her pregnant.
Yep.
What a good Christian he is. Now, another fucking thing, MAGA. Get off your fucking high horse with this horse shit, too. Because all Republicans are the ones getting hand jobs from dudes, sleeping with interns. This is happening every day.
You remember Larry Craig?
Oh, yeah, Larry Craig. He was a hand job guy.
Is
He,
that
wasn't he
the-
passing notes in the
yeah.
That was
bathroom?
the
Yeah, the
wide
big-
stance. Yeah.
Yeah, that you tap somebody's foot in
in
the,
the
in the
Minneapolis bathroom, the
That
airport.
was the good old days when somebody would actually resign over a wide stance.
You know, he
You
was
see
on
anybody
the,
doing that
You're
today?
right. That's
Larry
right.
Craig was on the Singing Senators.
On the what?
There's like some senators that sing and
Like barbershop quartet.
there's Elvira. Yeah, they
Oh,
like they would travel. They'd sing at the stupid dinners or whatnot.
my
Yeah.
heart's
After
on
parties were
fire.
Yeah,
fucking fun as hell,
Elvira.
I bet.
I don't know. I just remember that. I don't know.
You guys ever hear? Oh, damn! Now I forgot. I was singing this song, and Kevin said he never heard it. It was very popular. Whatever. It might come to me. I don't know.
What song
No,
was it?
it wasn't
Kevin?
Weezer. It was a country song, wasn't it? You the other
Kevin
day?
doesn't remember.
Yeah, isn't country music? That's for like drywallers, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Drywaller, you listen to country music all day long on the job site.
You do meth and you listen to country. That's what I understand of drywallers. Yeah.
Oh, come on now. I
I don't know
love
about
some.
What?
that, but
Hello.
drywall music.
Yeah.
I mean, Snartman's a drywaller. Well, he's clean now. He's clean. He's really clean. Nobody's gonna know what I'm talking about.
Well, back to Steve Daines. If someone had asked him about that $5 trillion number, and he trotted out
Really?
he trotted out the same old line that drives me nuts. It's drove me nuts for decades. It's gonna
Can't trust the CBO.
It's going to pay for itself. It's
Like
going to
it
pay.
has every
It's
other
going to pay
time.
for itself. And you know, we talked. I think maybe it was the Russell show or Bussy when we talked about the Laffer curve.
Oh,
How can
yeah.
You be 36 trillion in the hole
Yeah.
and it's paying for itself.
So the Laffer curve essentially says if you cut taxes enough, there's a sweet spot where you're going to spur economic growth so much that the tax cuts are going to pay for themselves. And that was kind of Daines's argument was, oh, well, we just haven't cut taxes enough. Or, you know, we're in too much of a hole from Biden. Or my mother-in-law is a bitch. You know, they blame it on everyone but
Obama.
but yeah,
Obama.
but the
Oh,
actual
Obama for
bill.
sure. Goddamn
Was
Obama.
Daines the one that did all the Chinese business?
Yes.
My lawnmower broke down, and I was fucking blaming
Yeah.
Obama all day
Yes.
long.
Yeah,
It was
it's
horse
always
shit.
like, you know, keep the jobs in America, in Montana, and America first. But
Yes.
I'm also going to take a ton of jobs to China.
Wasn't it Right Now Technologies? I think that was
yeah,
Daines.
something like that.
So when you call your cable company and you get that weird automated please say, you can thank Steve Daines for that. He
I'm
was
not gonna
the
thank
he
him
was
for
a big
anything.
pioneer in the voice to text.
Huh. Really, he was?
Yep, him and I think Gianforte was too.
Well, that I believe. Gianforte's a genius.
I mean, he was more into fighting.
He was beating
you
up
know,
journalists.
Journalists, yeah.
I mean, there's
Whatever.
votes in
Yeah.
that. There's a lot of votes in that, people.
Man, I'll tell you.
It's very funny audio. It's some of the funniest
It's-
audio when Gianforte beat up is like, "Hey,
Like
Mr.
a
Gianforte."
little reporter.
Yeah, and it was like, "Go, come on."
Yeah.
You broke my glasses. It was
Yeah.
so funny.
It's like, well, if I was that reporter, I just would have went fucking nuts on him.
Right.
I would have. I would have. I mean,
Should it have disqualified him? Maybe, but it didn't.
no, not in Montana.
then
We
why
love
not?
that
Yeah,
shit.
votes. Yeah.
No. I talked to someone I work with, and her response was, well, he probably deserved it. It was like, fucking A. Hell yeah.
So when her husband smacks her around,
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, you probably
Right.
deserved it."
He was doing his fucking job, asking questions. He's a reporter. He shouldn't be. He has no business asking questions as a reporter.
I think they were like healthcare questions.
Yeah.
More than likely. Who cares about that? What's Gianforte is like, his money came all from like tech, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and-
Oh,
yeah,
God,
also,
well, God,
it
yeah.
was because
Okay.
Moses worked until he was 400.
Another
years old.
thing, he thinks the world's 6,000 years old. That shit pisses me off pretty bad.
It is.
Who the fuck really believes that? Why would he? Does he say that for votes?
I've
Yes.
seen those
Yes.
chapters.
Yes.
He does,
You
yeah.
know, it's the
There's that many dumb fucking people around here that believe that shit, though.
Ed. It's the
Yes.
chapters in the Bible. You know where it says Noah begat Seth.
No,
Seth
I don't know.
begat-
I wouldn't read
And
that
it goes
fucking
on
book.
for pages, and that's how they just kind of added up the numbers, and it's about 6,000.
You know, I never really needed to read that book.
Well, that's it. That's how
I
they
think
got.
you got the short version.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where they got the number.
I went to
It's like
Catholic
pages
school
of
till
begat,
third
begat,
grade,
begat,
and
begat.
that was enough of religion for me. I was scared the whole fucking time. We had to go to church every day. And this church was Gothic, old-ass fucking 200-year-old church, creepy basement, creepy everything, gay priest, which my parents didn't want me being around. Probably, you know, but he was gay, so we were safe, you know? Like
this
that
was more of an
we didn't know
old-
that back then.
Of an Old Testament vengeful God, as opposed to that liberal woke Jesus in the
Well,
New Testament.
That
Is
white Jesus.
I know, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't understand how they can support Jesus, as woke as he is, or was,
Yeah.
or maybe still is, or will be again.
He'll
He's
be-
coming
when he-
back.
When he comes back, he's gonna be woke as hell.
There's a lot of weirdos saying that it's
He'll
going to
be
happen
right
soon.
back up on that fucking cross. He comes back.
Yeah,
Get
right
this
back
over
up
with.
there.
He comes back to the wrong state. He's
Yeah,
going
do
up.
not go to Texas.
Wait a minute.
So, but
This
Texas,
guy.
Texas has an interesting primary coming up.
Texas got a lot of interesting stuff going on.
a
with these
lot,
acts of
actually.
God down there, you know.
Whatever happened to, you know what, I'm
The
going to
budget
say,
stone
there was one funny thing a liberal said about the Texas thing, you know, but how is it when these natural disasters hit places like, you know, New Orleans or California, whatever, it's you know, the right always has to say, well, they're heathens and this is God's way. But never when it happens to God's people, you know,
No, it
the
was-
tornadoes in Oklahoma, you know,
It
like
was Gavin Newsom's fault because he didn't the.
forest. He
the
wasn't
forest
raking it.
floor or
He didn't rake
whatever,
the
but
forest.
It's not Greg Abbott's fault. I mean,
Dude, that
I stand
mean-
with Greg Abbott. Someone has to.
somebody's got. He can't
Yeah.
stand himself.
He-
Bum.
yeah.
I like that one. I really like that.
It wasn't those lawmakers' fault in Texas who voted against the sirens.
Oh God, no.
No.
And that's the crazy part. You hear these people talk. They're like, if we would have had 5 to 10 minutes more notice, like we would have
Oh,
saved
saved everybody.
countless lives.
Right.
It's an administration's fault for firing all those National
And
Weather
for
Service people.
and for what? So some asshole can get a bigger deduction on his yacht.
Well,
it's disgusting.
That is it. It is disgusting. It's horrible. This is a country we should be compassionate. We should help everybody out. Again, everybody knows it. We're the only fucking country in the world that doesn't give free health care. You know, we give Israel, again, $4 billion a year. You can get a fucking free abortion there. You get free health care, free fucking college. And they don't have people living in the streets because we give them all the fucking money that they need to have a perfect society and keep taking over more and more land from Palestine whenever they want. They just keep expanding, and we keep giving them more money because we want that power in the Middle East. You know, I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand it. You know, maybe I never will.
It's because our oil is under their land.
It's
Yes.
oil. Yes, it is. But you know,
How
you get.
dare they keep our oil under their land?
I mean, Netanyahu was in the White House again the other day. You know, like, what are those fuckers cooking up?
Who knows?
Who knows? You know who Joshua Kuznick is?
Nope.
He was a sports agent and
Okay.
comedian, and he's on TikTok all over the place. And he's like, check him out. He's I mean, wow, he's out there. He is what I think the left kind of needs. He's in your face, you
So,
know.
Kind of back to what you were saying. I read something the other day that was we have $12 billion the federal government allocated for affordable housing. We have $45 billion just for immigrant detention centers.
Dude, okay.
So the
that's-
affordable housing crisis in this country is a policy decision. I mean, if
Oh,
we
without a
wanted
doubt
to-
it is.
If we
Yes,
wanted
it
to,
is.
we could fix it.
It's
We
without
just
a
don't
doubt.
want to.
Without a
I
doubt.
don't know
want
why
to.
we're building more detention centers. We should be taking over these nursing homes.
Right.
I mean, they're
You're
all
right.
set up.
Yep,
There's
there's
nice
you're,
stuff
you're right.
inside.
Yep,
Right,
you're
yeah.
right. Probably
These
pretty
people
good
are
security.
Lonely. They'd probably like some company in there.
Really good security, I'm
Yes.
sure. So, have you seen the pictures of these fucking morons in their MAGA hats going to Alligator Alcatraz
Yeah,
with their
yeah.
families and taking pictures at the sign?
I have.
They're fucking proud
Fuck those
of putting people in a fucking cage. Yeah, fuck those people.
You know, it took what 6 months for us to get from they're eating the pets to feeding them to the pets.
Yeah, feeding them to the
The
pets.
immigrants
You're
are
right.
eating the pets to feed the immigrants to the pets.
The pets are eating the immigrants. They are.
Crazy.
Well, it just shows you the sad state that we're in, and people are so, well, they're just such assholes. That's all I got to say. Like, I said it on a show, I think with Judge Eddie, that
Amy.
Amy Eddie. Well, I said Judge
Judge
Eddie. Wouldn't you
Eddie.
call her? Oh,
I
Judge
know,
Amy
I'm
Eddie. Whatever.
I'm just fucking with you.
God damn it! Now you made me forget what I was thinking. What I was saying again. Maybe it's this marijuana drink. I'm
But
not
it
sure.
is the consolidation of power. I mean, you're looking at consolidation of thought at every level. You're looking at the consolidation of journalism. You're looking at the consolidation of power. We have no Congress. We have no justice system. Basically, it's all in one thing.
You're right,
Everything's
the
getting
whole thing,
consolidated
dude.
and consolidation of data. All the data's getting put together.
Well,
when did this start? When do you think it started? Like, you know, like I always thought, because the consolidation of food was something that really, I think, started in our country in the 70s.
I'm going to take a guess and say Reagan.
Okay. Well,
It's a great start.
Yeah.
So-
Usually everything else
Great-
gets
great
traced
guess
back
for
to
when
Reagan.
so up
everything
until
started.
1980, you had a lot of small farms. You had a lot of union jobs, a lot of small farms, a lot of things
Right.
were localized, a lot of food you're buying was coming from the zone you lived in.
Yep.
If you look at America, you go north to south, from sea to sea, you can grow everything you need in a zone. You
Sure.
can. You can have 10 zones where you're cutting down on fuel, you're cutting down on taxes,
Yeah.
you're cutting down on cross-state shit, all this stuff. But when you consolidate and you let Jolly Green Giant and these big companies take over everything, that's gone. You know.
Monsanto.
You know. I mean, it's
I
stupid.
know the guy who played Jolly Green Giant.
What do you mean? Oh.
The real guy.
Yeah, no,
Really?
The guy.
The guy from the commercials in like the 70s?
Yeah,
Would you-
Really?
Yeah, he lives in Montana. Well, he used to. He's
Yeah.
passed now.
Wow, dude. My buddy Brian, his grandfather was the Marlboro Man. He died of lung cancer, yeah.
Died a
I
horrible-
think so.
So, Joe Pick, you're a farmer.
Right.
Is that so? I think about another thing that I think about California that it gets such a bad rap is it is so diverse, like agriculturally.
Oh,
Like
California grows everything.
it's crazy.
I
Can
mean,
you
the amount
grow?
of milk that comes out of California is stunning, and people don't realize how much milk.
Can you
comes out
grow
of it.
like almonds or avocados in Wisconsin? Or
No. God, no.
All right.
No, I mean, if it wasn't for California, where would you get your stuff? I mean, you'd have to
Me-
literally
Mexico.
get it from Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They're coming for all of it.
That is something
Yes.
that is pretty cool.
Almond
Wild.
milk
Yeah.
is powerful stuff.
Yeah, they're coming for all the water. The almonds are.
I mean, all those 21-year-olds, they damn well need their almond milk.
Yeah, I didn't hear that, but
All right, let's change it. Okay. The guy that won the primary in New York City for mayor, okay?
yes, Mamdani.
Mandani. Okay, he's a Muslim.
Yes.
That is a swear word to a lot of your Fox News people, for
Right.
sure. You know, that's scary.
Yeah.
Very scary. Even though they don't have quite the pedophilia that the Catholic Church has.
But I will say it says much more about the state of establishment Democrats
Yeah.
that they spent the final week of the big beautiful bill instead of talking about what Joe Peck was talking about, the $5 trillion to the deficit. They spent all week
Talking about Mondani.
calling him a box cutter and all these crazy
Yeah.
like, anti-Muslim names.
Yeah.
All because he wants people to have free child care or he wants
And
there
their
to be a few
candidate
more
was
buses.
Cuomo.
Right.
They thought
Yeah.
Cuomo was their candidate.
Right. Or Eric Adams, that worm.
Dude.
Yeah.
What a weirdo. That
Dude,
guy-
I
that guy
can't.
rubs me the
That's
wrong
another
way,
thing that
though.
pisses me off, you know.
He is
You know.
so weird.
So MAGA just doesn't have a fucking leg to stand on with any of this shit. Because one day before Eric Adams was pardoned by
But
Trump,
these
he was
are
the worst fucking
Democrats.
human in the world,
Yeah.
and he's a Democrat. He's a demon rat.
Right.
He's a fucking pedophile Democrat. They all eat and fuck babies. I don't know how they
Yeah.
can do both. What do they do first?
That's
They
not
must fuck them
necess-
first,
I was
and then
gonna
they
say,
eat them,
it's
I
not
suppose.
in that
Yeah.
order, but
It's not in that order. Yeah, can't be.
I will say Eric Adams has this saying that I think about randomly where he says, "My haters will be my waiters at the table of success."
No way. He is. Well, that's a Trump thing. I can see where Trump likes that. I do. That's
And he
like.
says it without an ounce of irony.
But you know,
And he's probably right.
it's fabulous.
You
yeah.
know, he's shit on by these people. He's running this liberal city that's so broken, just like California. They're worthless people. Trump pardons them. Now the guy's a savior, and they back him, and they support him. This is how dumb these people are. I mean, they're dumb. They're fucking. I mean, I guess you had like the Jim Jones cult. You had the Charles Manson people, the David Koresh. But this Trump cult is on a way different level. Way more fucking people. And I like it
We
when
just
they
need
get
to get them to start killing each other.
well,
themselves.
you know,
Totally.
there's always hope. There's always hope that something like that would happen.
But back to
Trump
Mom
town.
Mamdani.
Mamdani, yeah, let's talk about Mamdani. I mean, the guy seems,
Mamdani won because he brought out new voters.
He did.
He's
yeah.
bring-
Oh,
he's
people
tapping into
that
those
need help.
90 million non-voters are
did.
turning
like
out for
the
that
youth,
kind of stuff.
like the
Yeah.
younger people that don't want to vote for a 70-year-old asshole.
Is that
Well,
a sign of things to come, or is it unique to
I
to
think it's
New
the way
York?
forward. I really do.
Well, you might think it's the way forward, but is
Well,
it?
it's
Is
the
it a
way
sign of?
forward for New York.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it just New York, or do you think this is going to be countrywide? You think like something like this in Montana could happen?
It has to be a really good candidate.
I would think it could. Yeah.
I think if enough people get hurt, you know.
I mean, this is a guy who he can't even film campaign ads on the street anymore because he's got too many people stopping him and telling him how much they love him and they want to take
Well,
pictures with him.
yeah, and that I think that's electrifying. It's
And
not.
then-
And in Montana, if people, like, we just pointed out, this is the most expensive fucking place to live in the country. None of us would have said this 25 years. None of us would have said this 5 years ago. We were not even on the map.
I think his policy about progressive education and child care and public transportation and affordable housing
Whoa. Sorry.
would be a lot more popular in Northwest Montana and Missoula and Bozeman and Billings and Great Falls than we think.
I think I do believe that. And so, you've had a lot of people from red states moving here. We're not going to have numbers till the actual census. We did. But you can look at Colorado, which went through this boom much like Montana's going through now. Colorado in the 70s, not much going on. 80s it started turning. Big time. No, not because of Coors.
Started turning when they legalized pot.
Well, yeah, that probably helped it a lot. But the money in the towns, when I left Colorado in '99, Winter Park was the last affordable town, and it wasn't affordable anymore. It's done. But you had a lot of people on the left move because that was a very red state, until sometime in the '90s it started switching, and liberals started winning. And now you're seeing liberals have governed that state for probably the last 10 to 15 years. So and Montana's always been very purple. Like, you see Lucas Schubert the other day on his fucking Facebook post? Something about Montana's a ruby red state. We don't need no Supreme Courts, whatever. The fuck, it's like people are calling them out like, bro, we've never been ruby red.
Yeah.
Read your fucking history, Gene Forte broke the tie for governors. We were 50-50 Democrat and Republican for 100 and some
how many
years.
years with a Democratic governor?
A lot.
Well, it's been half and half since day one.
Schweitzer, Bullock. That's 16 years right there.
Yeah, it seems to run about 6
Well,
years.
Roscoe was kind of a Democrat now.
Yeah.
Judy did 2 terms, didn't she? Yeah.
But
Judy and Roscoe did 2.
No. March was only one, right?
Oh, March was only one.
Who did the wishy-washy on those old commercials? Max Baucus. Sorry.
X-Max.
Max
I think that
Baucus
sign is still out in
does-
Clinton, Montana. X-Max is still out there.
But I think it does start with the youth. I think it does start with the kids. I think New York is really a bellwether for the rest of the country when it comes to how to turn out the youth vote. And that's why it was so frustrating for me to watch all these establishment Democrats go, okay, actually, wait, I'm hearing that this huge youth turnout is actually an existential threat to the party.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the focus groups, everyone.
And to the country.
Back to the basement youth. Don't be coming
It's
out
right
here
there.
and voting.
You look at what happened in New York. You look at all the fight the oligarchy rallies that Bernie and AOC did. I think it's very clear that, people under 40 in this country are sick and fucking tired of all these billionaires telling us what to do.
Yeah, it was like Abby Hoffman said, right? Don't trust anybody under 40.
Yes.
What do you think maybe people are getting sick of? Because we've always been told to don't blame other people for your actions. Don't do it. Don't ever do that. Don't blame other people. And here we are living this day and age where Trump just fucking blames Biden for absolutely everything. Still to this fucking day,
Well,
he's been president.
It's Obama's fault still. We're
And it's
still
Obama's
pissed
fault.
off. I mean, how many
Thanks,
years
Obama.
later?
Now what? Now these bootstrap people, you think they live by these morals, that don't blame others, for any, don't pass blame, but this is all they do, and they all do. It's a script. Everybody in that administration talks about Biden, how bad he was. Pete Hegseth, when he's talking like, Biden has nothing to do with the goddamn conversation at all. But the previous administration, oh, fuck you, Stop saying that shit, dude. What are you going to do to fix something? Oh, you're going to vote on something that's going to make it worse? That's your answer?
Did you see Kristi Noem today?
Dude, I can't watch her anymore.
Cosplay Karen. She
What'd she do?
She said today she was talking to FEMA in Texas, and she was thanking them for all the hard work they're doing. And she said, now I'd have to fact check this. She said it's so much better than what Biden was doing in Maui because victims in Maui were having to give sexual favors to get FEMA to help them. That's what she said today, yeah.
Holy fuck, these people are deranged. Oh, my God.
First I've heard of that.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
my
crazy.
God. That's
Yeah,
so
it's
stupid.
crazy.
We just got to get people to just stop being so stupid. I'm not an educated person. I barely made it out of high
It's
school.
too much fun to be
But-
dumb.
It is fun. I bet it is fun.
It's so much easier.
But it also leads to less money and less success.
Yeah, but
I mean, no, some people, dumb people, are pretty successful.
Sure.
Go buy a
and-
pizza place.
I mean, Biden became president. He's the dumbest person we've ever had in this country. The dumbest president, worst president we've ever
he's
had.
very sleepy.
Very sleepy. Yeah, he was
Was he
tired.
dumber than George H.W. Bush?
No, all Democrats
See,
were
that's
dumb.
the thing. George George W. gets a pass. Because he was
George W. Sorry.
Look, he was funny.
I mean,
I mean,
It's funny. He's a guy you would be, he's a guy you would have a beer with, and that was exactly how he won. Like, it's funny. It didn't matter.
The whole Iraq thing, it would have been okay.
It didn't matter that he did cocaine in college to these people,
No.
and that kind of blew my mind too when America got all in this George Bush thing. And, Nancy Reagan, the war on drugs, and it's always been a conservative thing. Democrats are the ones that want to legalize marijuana. Republicans never do, outside of Matt Gaetz. But that was only to have sex with 14-year-old girls because they wanted to smoke the marijuana legally,
Right,
I guess,
yeah.
I mean, it is a weird deal. I mean, it's really weird.
Just say no when you were in high school.
That
right?
I started smoking pot when that came out. I was like, fuck this lady. I don't trust. Just say no. I'm going to say yes because I don't trust this old bag married to this fucking prick that put my dad out of a job. That's what I did not like about Nancy and Ronald Reagan. We were farmers. He was a laborer, heavy equipment operator in the union. Our life was horrible in the 80s. It was fucking horrible. It was embarrassing. It was tough to grow up like that with other kids, that had money. You know, and where I lived, it was in the country, but it was starting to be a suburb where people were building bigger homes. And then, I remember we had a kid that drove a Porsche in our high school.
Sounds like Whitefish.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, for sure. But, that was, there wasn't a lot of them, but that started coming in that time. And these people loved Reagan. They're, and it's just like, you have the young Republican groups and stuff like that. And I remember we had that. I don't know if we had a young Democrat group. I'm not really sure. I don't really remember. I don't think so. But it was like this big hype. Everybody loved Reagan, man. Like, they did a great job
I'm convinced that's why the Republicans named the airport after him, so they can say, I'm coming into Reagan.
Oh, but I like that. Well, they're going to change Dulles to Trump International. You know that.
They?
That's on the books.
Fuck Alan Dulles.
He's doing a statue garden at the Mount Rushmore now.
I mean, that guy he's a spook. I mean, he's a seedy character.
We
I'll
talk
give you some books about Alan Dulles. You'll enjoy him.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
The Devil's Chessboard.
Well, a lot of these people are sketchy. Okay, speaking of sketchy people, like Robert Lee, we know he was a traitor to our country. Everybody fucking knows.
You're talking about Robert E. Lee?
Yeah, Robert E. Lee. But
Rumpelstiltskin?
you know that Hegseth is now changing all these military names bases back.
back.
And you know when a Democrat wins, they're going to change them fucking back again.
Yeah, and the battleships, right?
Yeah, and the battleships.
San Francisco's losing
I was going to say, Kelly's boy, Harvey Milk, just took one on the chin. He
did.
He changed his aircraft carrier.
To, what was it? I
don't
know what he changed it to. Yeah.
Oh, who cares?
Yeah, Harvey Milk.
Macho Commando America.
Yeah.
Harvey Milk was gay.
Yeah.
But he served in the military or the Air Force or something.
Well, he shouldn't have been allowed to. He should not have been there then.
He kept it secret.
Oh, okay.
He didn't tell. No one asked.
Yeah, that's what they get.
It's fucked. Totally fucked up.
Yeah. Well, you can't have the gays running anything. You know that.
Yeah, and Terminal 3, I think, at SFO is the Harvey Milk terminal.
Except that one right there.
I don't know who that is, but
that's Flash.
Okay.
He's a Harvey Milk supporter.
Was it the San Francisco Board of Supervisors? I think that's what it was. The position
that he was on.
He was the first openly gay elected official in America.
He was with I don't know what district, but
of course he'd be from San Francisco.
Yep.
So are you gay now that you live there? I know you got a wife and stuff, but
a little bit,
just a little bit. Gay, 10% or so.
Okay.
Is
Milk
the
won
new,
the Medal of Honor.
Harvey Milk aircraft carrier?
The new one. Oh.
That was a lot of words. What was it?
Isn't it petty? That stuff though.
It's the most petty. They're the most petty.
This is the most petty administration we've ever had, and they're I know, very snowflakey, and that's another thing that I don't really understand. Here the left are being called the snowflakes constantly. They're so sensitive, and I'm gonna say they got to be less sensitive, but
they know how to. The left gets triggered. They know how to trigger the left. As long as they keep triggering the left, we're not going to talk about the cuts to Medicaid. We're not going to talk about public education. We're not going to talk about we're not going to talk about jobs.
We're talking about teachers performing sex change operations in schools.
Which they do.
They run the corporate media.
Somehow they pull that off.
We just get
without the
triggered
funding.
time and time again on debate. We like debate.
Yes,
like
we do.
My buddy's a teacher, and he was like, everyone thinks I'm trying to turn these kids gay. It's literally just trying to keep them off their phones for 8 hours a day. It's like every time I turn around, someone's got one headphone in, or they're looking. It's give me the phone, give it here.
Well, wouldn't that be?
Yeah.
Why don't they just let them use the phone?
Right, that's not a bad
I
idea.
mean,
I don't know.
Zuckerberg is the one that's turning them gay. Then
Probably.
Zuckerberg.
Well, isn't it something that Bezos, Zuckerberg, Musk, and all these guys? I mean, the Musk thing we all knew was going to blow up. Nothing ever lasts with Trump.
They're back together.
You think so?
Kind of. I saw Musk was he's really pissed about this deficit thing. But I think what he's really pissed about
Is the EV credits?
is the EV credits were taken out of the big beautiful
taking the
bill.
money out of the batteries is so
I mean,
short-sighted.
$7,500. If you bought
Right.
a Tesla, you get a $7,500
No,
rebate.
never mind
Yeah.
the Tesla and all that solar panel stuff. The battery technology. I mean, if we can't figure out the battery stuff, we're getting left behind.
And I think China's already figured it out, from what I understand.
Oh, we can't get them.
No. Well, here's another weird thing about China is they're our enemy, but we just made a deal with them that they keep selling us the magnets and something else we need for our military. Why are they selling it to us? I mean, money, but we have. I mean, and you notice how Trump isn't China. China, his first term, China. It was always China. Always talking about fucking China and
Very
how fucking
funny.
bad China is.
Like
I'm telling you, it's hilarious.
They're trying to go after China on ag land right now. Get China out of North Dakota ag land.
Yeah. Well, and you can't. I mean, that's another thing. In a capitalistic society, I don't think you can say no to just about anything. This is pure capitalism. Anybody can buy whatever they want.
Well, that's
really.
the old adage is, the capitalist rich man will sell you a noose to hang him with if he thinks he'll make a profit.
Yeah. Well, of course, if a guy from China comes and says, "I'm going to give you $10 million for your bar,"
Right.
we have Chinese food now.
Yes, right. Yeah.
well, like other than
I think you just got booted off TikTok.
Yeah.
other
might
than
not like
other than
that
Ted Turner, who's the biggest landowner in Montana.
Yeah.
Who is?
Ted Turner.
No.
Other than
You said other than
Yeah.
Ted Turner.
China.
China.
Oh, it's China. It is China. And the federal government. The federal government's number one, actually. Which I guess that's a good thing that that wasn't getting sold. And the thing is like in the original version when they just exempted Montana because of Danes and Zinke stood up to them, they stood up to President Trump and I mean, what a bunch of horse
they
shit.
bent over.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still the premise of just selling public lands. That should offend everybody, but not MAGA.
They don't get it.
Because it's for housing. When they said it was for housing, I'm like,
No, it's
fuck off.
Housing for their pool boy.
Yeah.
It was the honey
And
pot.
the
It was the honey pot. Get everybody focused on the honey pot so
Yes.
we can cut Medicaid.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah. Well, Medicaid and a million other things. I mean,
Don't worry. They said they're gonna make those people get jobs. So they're gonna get health insurance. They're gonna.
That lady at the Springs, she
Exactly.
really does need to
Yeah.
work a little
Ed, are you
harder.
hiring 80-year-olds with dementia here at the town
I
house?
think I need them, yes.
Offering health insurance.
You know what else is getting cut, which is nuts? The proposal right now is to cut 90% of the tribal college funding.
Yep, I saw that.
We are the only state in the country that has a tribal college on every reservation.
Thanks to Pat Williams.
Pat Williams.
Yep.
Pat Williams, yep. And Roscoe. Wasn't it Roscoe back then? I thought he had something to do with a lot of the college. I read something somewhere where he was an advocate for it back when he was governor for funding or something. But regardless, you think about that. These people don't get a whole lot as it is.
We already fucked them over pretty bad.
Pretty bad, and we continue to fuck them over.
Yes.
We continue to. The state doesn't really care to do anything about
No.
Indians.
No.
You have Indian legislators, you do, but they're pretty much voiceless.
They're actually one of the most powerful voting blocks in the Montana legislature.
And
They're finding their voice. Some of the stuff they
Good.
did this last legislature, they stuck together as a caucus, all 13 of them, and they swung votes.
Well, and they got the marijuana deal for the reservations, but Gianforte vetoed it. I mean, just to fucking stick a fork in them and just twist it a little bit, like, nope, can't sell the weed, sorry,
No, we can't even get another veto override. I mean, we gave $2 million to what was it, Coal Strip or
Coal
something
Strip,
like
yeah.
that?
Yep.
$2 million. That was the only veto override over there, and we can't even get these legislators to vote on the veto over. It's like every time there's a veto override, it's like 20 of them out of the 150 don't even vote. They don't even vote.
Well, it's easy for them. That makes life easier, I'm sure.
So they also pissed off Vegas in the big beautiful.
Oh
bill.
yeah, professional gamblers.
Better fix that.
They're pissed. They're trying to fix it. So you used to be able to deduct 100% of your gambling losses, but now it's only 90%.
I know. Big
So
deal.
they're pissed.
So if you make 100 and you lose 110, you're still paying on 90 or something, or
Yes.
100
So
or
you
something.
could you could play all year, break even, or lose, and still owe taxes.
What I don't understand is how the fuck they know what you lost.
That's a good point.
They know
I mean,
everything that happens.
How do they know?
You know, and at the same time, it's like, boy, you're telling me you got fucked over by Trump? First time that's happened. Who would have seen this coming?
Okay, yes.
Told you one thing and another thing happened.
Yeah,
He
kinda
used you
odd.
and then cast you aside. Boy, color me shocked.
But what do you think will happen, if we do lose these tribal colleges? I mean, it's just going to send those economies into further despair
Right, it'll
because
be even worse.
well, because these colleges, they have janitors, they have IT people, they have administration, they have teachers, lots of jobs, probably more jobs than anything else. And that's something that, I'm very disappointed with the Crow tribe for sure, because they vote Republican all the time, because Republicans, they want to let them use their land, make the money off it, which it's pretty worthless land down there. I mean, it is, but
the cruelty seems to be the point with all these bills that are coming out of the federal government.
the cruelty does seem to be the
That's
point.
point.
It is the point. You're
We're
right.
doing
You're
it
right.
just because we can.
We're doing it to be cruel. We're
Yes.
doing it so you stop focusing on what the
Right.
real issues are, which
Yes.
is class stuff.
Yes. And
Well-
I feel like I've been hammering on the Democrats a lot tonight, but it always seems like Democrats take the House, Democrats get 60 votes in the Senate, Democrats have the White House, and it takes them 4 years to pass the We Love You bill where you get a $1,000 tax credit if you're an urban small business for 3 years or something like that. Republicans get in there, and we're, 6 months in? And they're passing the nasty motherfucker act that just
Yeah.
kills everything
Yep.
immediately.
Well,
It's-
and then they're putting people in positions like we talked about before that don't belong there. Right now, they just put Jared Wise to work for the Justice Department.
Who's that?
He was the guy on the videos and J6 rioters saying, kill them, kill them, kill them to the cops. He is on video saying this, all of it, very proud of it. And Trump fucking hired him to work in the Justice Department just this week.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. How can you be happy about,
Be king.
it's only 20% of the country, I'm going to assume, believe that January 6th, was all Antifa. Like, people I know still believe that. You know what I mean? It was the
Keep it
left, it was
20.
Antifa.
Yeah, that's a
But
lot.
then they put this clown that works for the Justice Department. And have you heard of Thomas Fugate?
Okay.
So he is
that
now
the,
the
like,
head
the-
of the Department of Homeland Security.
That's the kid.
He's 22 years old.
That's right. He's the
Yeah.
little guy.
He is
yeah.
he's the head of Homeland Security, okay? We are under the threat of terrorism every fucking day in America. Every country is.
Sure.
But we're the big bully on the block for sure. We're pissing people off left and right. We're a huge target. So what do? Get a 22-year-old kid to run the fucking Homeland Security Department. And what could go wrong there? I have no,
He has no military experience.
nothing. No, he has no
Nothing.
experience in anything.
Nothing. He just bent over and kissed the ring.
It's well, again, it's somebody who puts in there that's
He
a
was
yes
nice
man
to
solid.
Trump.
Yep,
You're nice to Trump.
exactly.
You got a promotion.
Imagine what kind of jobs we could get.
Pete Hegseth said nice things to me on Fox News, so I gave him the Defense Department. And now he's drunk all day.
Uh-huh.
No, he's not.
In America, we don't care about the facts or the policy or the politicians. We care about our side. We care about our team.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
You always care about your sports team.
But
your sports team can suck, and you're still going to root for them.
Yeah. Well, yep. I'm a Packer fan.
Right. Them Packers are going to suck this year. You'll
Nope,
still
they're
root
not.
for 'em.
They're not.
All right.
Mm-hmm. The Vikings are going to suck really bad. J.J. McCarthy's going to be a dog. So, is God punishing Texas?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
God.
Okay.
Well, it has to be an act of God because that's the only thing that lets the insurance companies off.
It can't be climate change.
Yeah.
Well, and
Definitely not.
No, act of God, act of God.
The 10 Commandments aren't in the schools yet,
Not yet.
right?
They
So
need to be.
He's pissed. That
We
that-
were too late.
We were too late.
So, what do you guys think about this strategy of punishing the opposition? Not just winning, punishing them. Because we're seeing this like we've never seen before. We're sending ICE into liberal cities, not
Yeah.
conservative ones.
Right.
We're saying that doctors can say no to a surgery or save somebody's life if they vote Democrat. We're screening people. Right now, ICE has more money than CIA, FBI, Homeland Security combined. They have more money than any other department in our government pretty
In
much
a lot
now.
of countries.
Yeah, than a lot of countries. Yes. Yeah, way bigger than the country's GDP. And now You know, they've got people on computers, thousands of people, scanning everybody that's got a passport that's coming to America. They're scanning their background. They're looking at their social media. They're pulling them out of the line, saying, let me see your phone, and you have no choice. They see shit on your phone. They're like, sorry, you're not coming in. How does Trump get thousands of people to believe in him? Or people just need the jobs that bad that they're scared and they're going to do this? Because I don't see how a good person could do any of this.
Well, I think there's a lot of...
Because there's a lot of people.
I think there's a lot of security that people feel when they're friends with the bully, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a very human thing where it's like,
But
okay,
what if you were offered the job being like, all right, everybody that's coming in from Norway, you're going to fucking check this shit out?
I would think a lot of people would take that position.
Really?
Yes.
God. They must pay really well.
I think they say as long as I'm on his team, I'm safe.
True. Which I don't believe, but...
Sure. I mean, it's bullshit. It's childish, but...
But that's it. You know, again, like, you know, if the strategy is to punish the opposition, and this is something that, you know, like in wartime, that's what you do. You punish your opposition. We're not really at war with ourselves, or are we? Because we are punishing the opposition. They are, you know, and I haven't, I mean, you know, of course, you know, I can't say that Democrats have always done the right thing, for sure. I would never say that. But I haven't seen them go to these lengths.
No, it's dark days. There's no doubt that it's dark days. But I'm still rooting for America. I think we're all still rooting for America.
Sure.
You know, I mean...
Well, you're a dumb farmer. Don't worry, I've been called that plenty in my life.
But, you know, I mean, some of the stuff that we haven't seen in our lifetime.
No.
I mean, the Jim Crow laws were repealed when I was 1 year old.
Wow.
So, you know, that's within my
That's like 80 years
lifetime.
ago. Wow.
So, you know, we don't remember this stuff, but, you know, we have a long, ugly history with
Long, violent history, yes.
Oh, yeah, no. We're the most violent country in the world. There's no doubt. I mean, it's not even close. I mean,
We're up there.
more children die of guns in this country than any disease.
Yeah, that's the number one killer of
Number one
under-
killer of
under
children.
18 or whatever.
It's fucking nuts. It's sad.
It is.
But that again, that's capitalism. Where you know, capitalism allows your elected officials to be bought and sold. It just does. And people argue with me with that, but I'm like, no, dude, it's obvious. Don't tell me deep state is fucking Hillary Clinton. Stop saying that. It's fucking Chevron. It's fucking Purdue Pharmaceuticals. It's these people that are pulling the
Peter
strings.
Thiel.
Yeah. I saw Mr. Robot. I know how it works. Yeah. But it's crazy. I've always said that the gun debate in America died when we allowed 20 first graders to be slaughtered at Sandy Hook, and we did nothing about it. At that
Yeah.
point, it was over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, right.
Well,
According to Ed's boy Aaron Rodgers, it was a hoax.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, Alex Jones got, you know, I mean, I'm sure he has enough money, and he's got crazy supporters that'll give him whatever he wants, you know. I mean, and I know that he's getting money. But it's like, you know, you live in a world where children do get murdered, and that, to me, is fucking sad.
It's wild to me that our plan to deal with school shootings is, well, you just have to hope really hard that it doesn't happen to
and
your
pray.
kid's school.
You have to pray a little harder. You see, these people are
Just gotta-
not
you
praying
just
hard
gotta
enough.
You just got to really hope it doesn't happen.
But you have a guy like Alex Jones and
It's
others,
heartbreaking. I mean, we're talking
Awful.
about thousands of
Awful.
kids.
Awful.
and you have people
Even
making
in
money off of it.
Texas, hundreds of people now.
And
You know,
people
I mean,
like-
those families, it's
Awful.
devastating.
They'll never recover.
No, never. You would never recover from that. But then you got a jackass like Alex Jones sitting there making money off of it, making it a conspiracy. You know, like everything is a conspiracy. You know, in this country, it really is. It's sickening. It is
Well,
sickening.
They're interesting. You know, I love myself a conspiracy theory, but I think it preys on stupid people who want to feel smart.
And
That's the
you know,
draw.
No,
of
you're right.
conspiracy
You know,
theory.
if
That's
Democrats
exactly
could
it.
Come up with some good conspiracies, we'd actually do a
Right.
little bit better.
Yeah, because imagine,
Yeah, we
imagine
should.
you're dumb as dog shit.
Like a conspiracy, like Donald Trump
You don't
has some
even
rich
have to be
friends.
Average. Look,
Yeah.
average students. That's what we're target audience.
C,
Average.
C average. You know, but you know, Democrats should have a
Hey, nothing wrong with
conspiracy.
getting C's. I got C's in high school.
Maybe there should be a conspiracy that Donald Trump was having sex with younger women with Jeffrey Epstein. That would be an interesting one.
I mean, at this point, I don't even know if it's a conspiracy. I think it's just true.
I know. Well, I know.
I wouldn't call it having sex with.
Yeah. Yeah.
It might. Yeah.
Kind of an important part that's missing there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's switch it up a little bit
Okay.
because we don't ever talk about stuff other than politics and this kind of stuff, I want to talk about baseball a little bit. You know, Kelly, you a big Giants fan?
I am.
You are. Were you a Mariners fan when you lived in Montana, like your brother?
Yeah. So I grew up a Mariners fan.
Okay.
They ripped my heart out.
Yeah, a lot.
For
2001. Yeah.
for years.
Jay Buhner.
And
I remember Jay Buhner.
the list of Hall of Famers from those '90s teams is staggering.
The Bird Killer.
Was it 2001? They won 116 games and then lost.
Yeah, the most wins ever.
The Ichiro, Brett Boone, not Aaron Boone, Brett Boone.
Yeah, Brett Boone.
and
Yeah.
he was
Jay
juiced.
Buhner.
Jacked.
Man, that was fun though. Man. So they ripped my heart out for a long time, and I realized that the front office didn't give a shit whether they won or not. They just got lucky, and Mr. Nintendo didn't give a shit.
Is that who owned them?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Or at least some of.
Okay.
Now you're a Giants fan.
Now I'm a Giants fan.
I really think that is it Pac Bell Park? Is that what it is?
Not anymore.
Like
Not
switch
anymore.
Parties.
So
I mean, you
kinda,
were one party, you switched.
I
to
was
another.
did.
I was an
It does
American
happen.
party, and now I'm in a national.
I think it's the most beautiful ballpark in America.
It started
It's
out.
gorgeous.
But there's poop all around it.
Not
sure.
right there.
Oh, no?
that's- they
No?
keep that
Okay,
pretty,
I gotta make sure.
spotless.
Sean Hannity was talking about it. I was
It
just
was
saying.
PNC Park,
PNC.
Oh, yeah,
and then it was
PNC.
Pac Bell, and then it was something else.
PNC.
And
That
then it
sounds a
was
little weird.
AT&T,
AT&T.
and now it's Oracle.
PNC me.
If you're up the right side on the upper deck, and it's like
It's incredible.
it looks like a green screen. You're just like, this
Yeah,
seems fake.
you got the Bay Bridge, you got the Bay, you can see Oakland
Yeah,
all the way across. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, why would anybody want to live there?
right. Gross.
I have a lot to say about Oakland too.
So what's like a ticket cost to get in to see games?
Yeah,
I mean,
what?
it depends who they're playing, because
Right.
everyone does the surge pricing, everything. But if you wanted to go see the Rockies or the Pirates, you can get in for $15.
Really?
Maybe
that's
even
cool.
maybe even less. If you could buy a ticket from a dude outside. For
I guess
$5.
it's that way for the Yankees too. That's
Yeah.
what I've heard.
Well, there's so many home games. I mean, they
You're
can't
right,
charge.
80
It's not like the NFL
81
where there's
games.
8 games, so they charge you
Yeah,
$800 a
every
ticket.
game.
Except
for
when
every
the
home.
A's go to Vegas, those tickets are going to be
Yeah,
very
those will be
fucking
expensive.
So
expensive.
this is fun too. I was never an A's fan per se, but like the A's are iconic.
Yeah.
And who doesn't?
Yes.
Who doesn't
They
love
really
those
are.
jerseys? That green,
Raleigh Fingers.
Raleigh Fingers, Catfish
Moneyball
Hunter.
is one of the best sports movies ever made.
It is.
Yeah.
What do you think about the money when you're talking about the Mariners? Okay, like I'm a Brewers fan, and my good friend's a Cardinals fan, and it's like I talk about how the Brewers it sucks. Like they for somehow their payroll's $100 million, the Dodgers $330 million, and they just swept them. They get lucky, like you're saying. Like does the owner care? And I say, well, he says, well, the owner's a billionaire. He's rich. He can pay for whatever he wants. Okay, I don't think that's the point. It's still a business. As a businessman, you don't run a business to lose money. You just don't. You do if you believe in it in a couple years down the line, but this is a professional baseball team.
I mean,
How much are you going to spend out of your own pocket because you want your team to win that bad? I don't get it,
I mean, I've always wanted to see like every game's bottom line.
Yeah.
For how much?
Right.
Yep.
How much did you make on churros? How much did you make?
And we sold a lot of hot dogs.
especially in
last
San
night, yeah.
Francisco, because it gets cold as fuck there.
It does.
Yeah.
How much did they make on any given night on blankets or
What?
hoodies?
They rent. Oh, they buy.
No,
you
you
can
buy
buy
it
them.
You-
Cold like 60?
Like 60 a person. Yeah.
Well, the
And
poop cools down. And
It
then,
does.
Yeah,
It only
yeah.
stays warm for so long.
the one thing about Giants games is if you're down in the lower bowl for night games, that is when the Seagulls come in.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
And the Seagulls they've all trained themselves, and they instinctively know that
Where the
it's
popcorn
about
is?
It's about the 7th inning now. We're gonna get all those leftover hot dogs. Peanuts,
Really?
all the
So it's
other
like the
shit.
birds.
It's like
So
Whitefish
it
Lake
is
Golf Course.
exactly like the birds.
like the
which
golf
took
course here.
place, So
Right, not far
You're-
from San Francisco.
right,
yeah.
so it's kind of a game of
Weird.
dodging
People getting shit
pitches.
on
Yeah.
by.
It's like going to Spencer. It's like going to Spencer Steakhouse. You get to wrestle a seagull.
Not
for
only
your
are the
steak.
homeless people
Yeah.
shitting, the seagulls are
Seagulls
shitting on
shit
people.
right in your churro.
Wow, that would suck. I had a bird eat an
beautiful
apple
scene.
in my car the other day. That
Ooh.
pissed me off, and it shit all over the inside of my car. And it ate half my apple. I got to eat the other
Let me
half.
talk about the A's some more though.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
talk about the A's.
Because this is really the biggest travesty to happen in Major League Baseball.
Without a doubt.
Possibly since the Black Sox You know?
Yeah. Ooh, that's going back.
You know, John Fisher obviously is an asshole.
Right.
JFJ or was it, fuck John Fisher. Yeah. Everywhere FJF. Everywhere you go.
Really?
Fuck John Fisher.
Oh, I bet.
They'll be interviewing somebody in Sacramento. Some dude will walk behind them. Fuck John Fisher. You know, it's.
Do people go to the games in Sacramento? Or do they sell out?
It started hot. People really.
Something to do.
But now it's actually 110 degrees there.
Yeah, fuck that.
The realization that maybe this shouldn't happen.
Right.
It's like really dawning on people.
So is that what the new rules are all about? Get people out of there faster?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that the pitch clock was okay.
That's right.
We start the game. It's going to be 110. Yeah, let's get out.
It's fine on TV, but when you go to a game in person, it's way too fast, in my opinion, because you're there for like 100 minutes. Like it's way too fast.
Whenever I went to a game, it wasn't like, well, shit, I have to go do something else. It was like, we're doing baseball tonight.
Yes.
Yep.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if I had something else to do, well, okay, I'm going to leave. Let all these other people enjoy the rest of the game. And they start the games early in San Francisco now, 6:45.
Oh, really?
It used to be 7:05 or 7:15.
Right.
That's early. That's really early. So games are over 9, whatever. You know.
Yeah.
So do you think the A's fans are sticking with the A's, or are they are
So
you?
a lot of people.
You see a lot of A's hats at Giants games.
All 8 of them will probably stick around.
You know, people have that cross bay. Fuck you. I'll never.
Yes.
Sure.
Which I understand.
I get it.
And people had that with the Raiders and the Niners too.
Yep.
What blows me away is how many Raiders hats and stickers and bumper stickers and shit you still see around town.
Yeah.
And I was like, he fucked you 3 times.
I know you still love the guy. Well, it's the coolest logo in the NFL. That's it. It's a gangster.
Baller, yeah.
It's super gangster. Like you see a lot of Chicago White Sox hats. When have they been good?
Never. They're really bad right now.
Oh yeah,
But
not as bad as the Rockies.
But the whole Vegas thing, nobody in Vegas wanted this.
Nobody does.
Nope.
I know people live down there. They hate it. It's just there's too much going on there, and it's just gonna. And putting it on the Strip, for Christ's sakes, put it on the north side or something. You know.
Just imagine, like I hope they build like the overpasses over the roads, because imagine 30,000 people just trying to cross those streets.
Dude, no. It's
F1 happening. It's just gonna be a.
It's silly. It's
bloodbath.
weird. But like, okay, we just mentioned the White Sox being bad. The Colorado Rockies are worse, and their
It's
owners.
the worst team ever.
It's
Yeah.
going to be they've only won 21 games so far,
Yeah, they're bad.
and that's
Their
a
run differential is like minus 220 or
it's
something.
insane. It is insane,
crazy.
and they're playing in a ballpark where just about anybody can hit a home run.
So I did hear, speaking of bad baseball teams, the White Sox, and great baseball movies, Moneyball, I heard the owner of the White Sox has some deal with the stadium where if he's below 35% attendance or something, he doesn't have to pay rent.
No.
So essentially it's like the plot of Major League, where it's
Whoa.
like they're trying to
Crazy
be,
shit like that. I
they're like
totally believe.
they're
that.
trying to be bad so he can like save money because he's
Right.
trying to either sell the team or he's got gambling debts. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows
yeah.
what it is?
Yeah, probably.
Wow, that's a really weird caveat.
Isn't that weird?
to,
Yeah, a
like-
buddy of mine's a huge White Sox fan, and I had dinner with him over the weekend. And Forrest Baldwin, you might remember Forrest.
I do.
And yeah, he was telling me about that. He was just like sick.
I mean, I
'Cause
think
he's a
some of the
monster
owners
White Sox fan.
probably don't care. You know, like you're saying in Seattle and, you know, like Milwaukee, is my team, and they're the smallest market. And the owner is super rich. He got in trouble for like taking sand from his Malibu beach house to Wisconsin. He got in a lot of trouble for that. I know.
And doing what with it? Just
I have put it in his yard, I guess,
it's
to
like
have
the
some.
plot of Old School. I got a sand
it's-
guy. Yeah.
Lake Michigan has a lot of sand too. It's the same fucking color. I don't get it. What you know, but
Yeah. Yeah.
oh what?
Yeah. If they're less than 50% capacity, they save a bunch of money on surcharges and
This just in, the Colorado run deficit is 243.
Jiminy.
What?
Crickets.
Negative 243.
Wow.
Negative 243.
Just-
Holy cow! You
So
know, it's
they're-
fun.
So they're in the Giants, division, and they're 35 games back. And the
Wow.
All-Star break is
Not even
for,
yet.
like next week.
Another week
It's
away.
Yeah.
It's early July, and they're 35 back.
You know, I love the pitch clock. I do. I think it makes the game a little better.
Like I said, on TV, it's fine.
Yeah,
But
but live, you're right. You're right.
live, it was
Because
like,
baseball's more about it's not an intense game to watch. It's not like, but it's also not golf. You know what I mean?
yeah, I went
But
to
you're there to have fun and talk with
I
people.
went to Target Field last year to watch my twins, and I'd never been to Target Field, so I get there, and my wife and her brother and his wife were all walking around, and you get a bratwurst, and you get a beer, and you're like, I bought a little baseball bat for my kid, and before I know it, it's the top of the fifth, and we haven't even been to our seats yet. It was like, oh, Jesus, yeah.
So you're going to like Glacier Park? Glacier Bank it feels?
Yeah, it's a beautiful stadium up there. The first
Ooh.
time I went
It
up
is.
there,
It
you
really
get up
is.
there and you look at the
The Giants
on
lost
there,
13-0
I
today.
saw that today. I wasn't going to bring it up.
Oh
but,
God,
yes.
the Phillies smoked them. Man, the Rockies lost again. That's weird.
So
Twins beat the Cubs. Brewers are a game and a half out of first place. Love it.
So I went to my first Oakland Ballers game a couple weeks ago.
hence the hat.
I love the
Hence
name.
the hat.
I love
It's
that
a great
name.
logo. Love
is a
it.
cool
It's a
name.
great hat. They will be playing the Range Riders this
So
week.
what division is that? Because it's not AAA, AA, single A. Is it below?
Kevin knows. What is it?
Okay, so it's on the
Independ-
same level as because the paddle heads are. Okay.
Is there a Pioneer League anymore?
Yeah.
And then your league is what? Just below that?
Out there.
I went and watched Kev play. It was 2 nights ago, or was it last night?
It was 2 nights ago we went and watched Kevin
And
play.
I went and watched Kev
Hot as balls out
get
there.
some ass out there.
Saw Kevin running. Kevin got doubled up. Didn't know it. I
Yeah,
loved
he
it. He's
did.
fucking running. They're
He
like,
did
no,
get
dude, he
doubled up.
caught it. No. Kevin's like,
I was gonna say I blame the third base coach. He should have given me
without a
second.
doubt. He was
Yeah.
giving it. He just thought it'd be funny, I think. What was that? You're playing the Glacier Twins now. It was old Twins players. Okay. I was wondering.
Yeah.
Cult.
You're Dugan out there. I bet that boy can run.
Yeah.
So, with baseball, my thought is the season. I mean, I'm a fan, so I don't mind the 162 games. You know, I don't. But there's always been an argument to make it less. I don't think it's taxing on the players, to be honest. I don't
No.
see, where, like I can see adding 2 more football games. Well, that'd be tough.
For sure.
You
And I
know.
think that's an awful.
Yeah, yeah. But baseball, I do think it starts a little early. It ends a little late.
Well, every
weather-wise.
season, it seems like games are starting in March now.
Right.
You know,
They are.
Opening week was
They
always
did move up opening.
Oh yeah, it
day.
used to be like April 7th or 10th or something.
Yeah,
now it's
we're do-
fucking
we're
March
doing-
24th.
We're doing games in the third week of March. and it's
I don't think it matters if a guy like John Kruk plays 150 games or 180 games. I mean, he's going to be fine.
I mean, when did they go to 161 or 162?
Well, 30 years ago or
Yeah, that
something
was a
like.
while
It was like
Long
in
time
the
ago.
70s or
Yeah.
80s. Anyway,
One thing I don't like about it, I mean, there is revenue sharing, but it's not that big of a deal. And again, all these owners are billionaires. Like, do they need revenue sharing? But they do need to make money. You know, like Milwaukee's not going to get a TV contract like New York or LA is.
Who owns
and-
the Brewers?
Mark Anastasio,
What did
something
he
his
do?
name.
Think
Who
they're on
knows?
These teams because they're trying to make money.
Yeah, I think it's a
They bought the
business.
teams.
No.
I think
They
it's
wanna
a
be part of the
business.
club.
Well, I mean,
It's a
well,
boys'
making
club.
money is part of like the perks, you know.
well, I think some of them do, some of them don't.
Who
You
owns
know,
the Giants? I don't even know.
A Trumper.
Okay.
I
Boy,
don't, I
there's a
don't, I
shock.
don't remember his name. He's like majority owner. There's a huge,
Right, a big
owning
consortium
an
of
owning party. Yeah.
financiers.
Well,
Which has actually been like a pretty big.
they celebrate Pride there all the time. He must
Yeah,
hate
yeah.
that.
Every-
Well, he knows his crowd.
Did you see Clayton Kershaw the other night?
Yeah.
No,
he was
what?
like writing like Bible verses on his hat. because
What?
Of, like they were doing.
He always
Pride
seems like
Month.
such a cool guy, and then you're
Yeah.
like, oh, what an
You're like,
asshole.
oh wait,
Are you
he's a
kidding
prick.
me?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Just ask him about the playoffs, and then it's
Right.
jokes on
Yeah.
you.
Well,
and
the Brewers just smoked him 9-1 when he started the
Yeah.
other day. That was really nice. Brewers got a rookie pitcher, Mizorowski. He throws about 102 miles an
The
hour.
Miz, yeah.
Yeah.
Against the Dodgers, he struck out 12 of them in 6 innings. The best hitting team in baseball. Just fucking destroyed them. Hi, Bella. How are you
Booch.
doing, sweetie? Oh, you're such a little sweetie.
My big issue with MLB these days is just how the commissioner and all the shittiest team owners are in cahoots, and they just don't care.
No.
You know, and I think Colorado is lucky that it's in the middle of downtown, and people just like going to that stadium because it's cool.
Yeah.
People will go because it's fun to go to the stadium, and beers are cheap.
Mm-hmm.
But they're
What's the beer cost?
oh, it's $6.
Where?
Something?
That's cheap.
Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we
when
got
was the last time you were in a
We got the music festival next weekend where beers are $18. $18.
Yeah, at Oracle Park now, I think a tall can of Modelo is $17, $18. $18, yeah.
God, what happened to when the PBRs used to be $1?
When is
Dude.
it? Was it Cleveland when they had dime beer night in the 70s?
Yes.
And there was a
And it went
riot?
nuts. They got a riot. Dude,
They
and once,
almost called in the National Guard.
dude, they used to do the craziest shit back then. Like,
10 beers for $1?
they had bat
And
night.
they'd give you a bat, too.
Yeah, bat night in Milwaukee County Stadium against the Chicago White Sox. And all the White Sox fans would always come up and invade County Stadium back when they were in the American League. And Mountain Dew had this genius idea of having Mountain Dew bat night. People got fucked up.
Rabies
I mean,
night. Every
jails
fifth
were
fan
full.
will be infected with
Yeah.
rabies.
What Costanza wanted to do.
But that was
like,
back when we were. That was back.
Tire
You know,
night.
you're getting out of the '60s. You know, there's
Yeah.
not many issues. America's getting back together again. And like, why don't we
Summer
give
of
away
love,
bats?
yeah.
You know, cheap beer, bats. You know, what could go
But
wrong?
It's just the thing that like Manfred and all the owners. I mean, it's like all the major sports. The owners and the commissioner are all in bed together.
Yes.
And
They are.
It's
That's
just,
why they're there, the commissioner. Yeah.
That's just
so-
why they're there. But all the consistently terrible teams, it just keeps happening.
It just keeps happening.
You know, and it
keeps
just
happening.
sucks for the fans.
It
And
does
they don't-
well.
and they don't care.
Milwaukee went about 25 years of absolutely sucking. So did the Green Bay Packers. You know, both of them.
Well, but
They
they
had-
still do.
Well, no, they don't. They're exceptional.
Very mediocre.
All right.
The Brewers are 1.5 games out of first place right now, and they just swept the Dodgers. But you know,
Are you a shareholder in the Packers?
no, I'm not. I never bought into that stuff.
Never bought in?
No,
Kev is.
Kevin?
Kevin is. Yeah,
Symbolic. Doesn't mean anything.
yeah. I mean, it's worth
How many
it.
shares do you get for that?
Go
One.
Vikes.
They'll release
If it
more.
works.
They'll need
AJ
more money.
McCarthy. You'll see.
But what a way to make money, you know, be like, you know, the Packer fans are rabid. They are a weird fucking bunch, you
What
know.
else is there to do
we
in
all
Green
have
Bay?
tattoos.
Cheese and beer.
Yeah.
And they can be like, let's just release 300,000 shares at $100 a pop and bring in $30 million, you know, build a new something, you know. Like, I mean, it is pretty easy to make money that way. Well, baseball is something that'll always be a part of our lives. I really enjoy it. I think it's great, and it's corrupt like everything else. The reason I say it's corrupt is because you've heard about the Cleveland pitcher now.
Which one?
Dude,
Yeah, what's that guy's name?
I don't remember his name, but he is
Oh.
now under
Is this the
investigation
guy that
for
threw the
throwing
pitch, like,
games. Yeah, way the fuck.
it was like Major League, just a bit outside.
Yeah,
I mean,
just
it's
a
like,
lot
It was
outside.
outside the batter's
Yeah, it's
box.
like FanDuel or
So
whatever. one of
apparently-
those
And there was
that-
a huge bet come
if
in
the
on the
first
first pitch
pitch
to
of the
be a
game-
ball,
yeah.
and it was like, boom. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
and
not a good look.
He's not the only one.
No, he
No.
can't be.
God,
That's the
And
thing.
it's with all the sports.
So
They
it's
all
with
know
all the
this.
sports. We all
They're-
know it.
the-
Same with
the-
politics.
The ads for whatever game, whatever, is like right next to the seats. They're like
Yeah.
sitting right there, and it's like, oh, bet on baseball.
Yeah,
He's
FanDuel.
FanDuel. Get $5 when you bet 10 on ESPN.
Yeah,
Bet.
exactly.
Yeah, well, I
It
wonder.
is a bit obnoxious.
I wonder what kind of
It's
trouble
awful.
that guy's
I
going to
It's
get.
awful.
I like sports betting. You know, I come in here, I'll place a bet, but it is so overwhelming now. Whenever you watch like an NFL pregame or college football, it's someone's got their pick of the week. And I just remember being a kid and like Jimmy the Greek, back when it was illegal, and he'd be like, I don't know, I feel like the Chargers should win. If I were to pick a score, I'd say maybe they win by 6.5 points, if you know what I mean. And now it's just so.
Well,
in
and,
your
you know,
face.
they always had such a vendetta against Pete Rose.
Yes.
Oh, I
Like
know.
the worst man that ever lived.
Right.
And then the dude died, and then they're like, well, yeah,
Let him
no,
in.
fuck it, he could be in. And then you look all over the Red Stadium, and it's just like, oh yeah, bet,
FanDuel,
bet.
DraftKings.
It's cool now.
It's
I mean,
really
fuck
weird.
that guy. He's in the whatever Hall of Fame, but
It is weird what we found slavery acceptable at one point. I mean, where you're always changing opinions. Everything's always, like, I mean,
did
probably
Manfred have something to do with that too?
yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Probably.
Well, anyway, I think this has been a lot of fun.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks
We
for
want-
having me.
Thanks,
that was
Mike.
fun.
Thanks, Ed.
Wish you happy trails and a safe trip back home. What way are you going
Keep
home?
my shoes
Same
clean.
way? Are you going home through
I
Vegas?
think we're gonna go to Boise and see some friends there.
Oh, Boise. Oh, you missed Hetero Awesomeness Fest
right.
there.
Once you inviting us with this.
Oh, well,
at
it was
the end-
in
the
Boise.
end,
A guy that owns a bar outside of Boise spent $85,000 for a celebration of heterosexual people.
Yep.
And 50 people came.
Yeah, it was.
I mean,
Sparsely
85,000, 50 people. They had fun.
They had a lot of fun.
It's all you can eat. No,
And a
thank
gay
you.
guy got on the music bill
yeah.
and played music. It was great. He was gay. Then the owner figured out halfway through it that he's supporting trans people and gay people, so he went to kick him off the stage. And a guy there punched the owner of the venue or the guy putting it off because he's like, "You don't fuck with the music." It's like, are you listening to what he's saying? He's pro-gay. We're anti.
You got that to look forward to. Which will be
Yeah.
Right.
That Boise's a booming place, man. Really
Yeah,
booming.
I was there a couple years ago for a wedding, and prior to that, it had been 15 years or something. And it's a nice city.
It is very clean.
But
very Mormon.
It's very shit gets dark if you get a little bit outside of
Sure.
Like whitefish.
Yeah, a lot like whitefish.
Exactly.
A lot of white supremacists lurking in the shadows.
I mean, Idaho has, I don't know, there's some number about the per capita of white supremacists, and
it's number one.
it's crazy.
It's
They're
more
number
than
one.
You'd like.
Well,
more
it's a
than
place
you
where Mark
like.
Furman can
Yeah.
go get a radio show and make enough money to survive on that radio show. I mean, that's a travesty, if you ask me. That is brutal.
Maybe just one more comment about that asshole that started that fire a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Total MAGA.
Oh yeah.
Trumper.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
Pictures of his parents
all saw that
at
coming.
January 6th with their little Trump hats.
but Fox
you know.
News did not mention that
No, they
at
didn't
all.
mention that at
They
all.
have not. They did
I
not
mentioned
mention
that
it
to
at
a few
all.
people in town here. They had no idea what I was talking
And
about.
that stuff never really lasts anyway.
Uh,
It really doesn't. People don't really, it's in the media for a day or two and then it's gone. America just don't give a fuck. I mean, just like again, school shootings, all this kind of stuff.
Or just shooting senators.
Shooting center, yeah, MAGA.
It's-
Okay, that's something that. Okay, it's a little rant. If the pro-life people, I think they're doing in their